Amazing. She made a charm out of a yo-yo, a journal charm out of a yo-yo, and she did this wonderful pineapple. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to kind of wait for folks to come in. Let's see. I'm still getting my tablet set up. Make sure I don't go into an old video. I did that one day. I was streaming my regular Tuesday morning stream or Thursday morning, whatever. And I was talking away, communicating with everybody. I was communicating with an old stream. It was so funny. Good morning. Hi, Angie. Hi, Mitzi. Hi, Christina. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Kimberly. Welcome. Hi, Peggy and Rhonda and Journey and Patricia. There's Patricia. I haven't seen you in a long time, Patricia. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Hi, Tina and Artsy Nancy. Well, today is all about fabric and fibers. How we love our fabric and fibers. So, and Janet, she always nails it, doesn't she? If you haven't had a chance to watch Janet Nash, check her link is in the schedule in the description box below. The schedule is also in Phibbsville. We had a little bit of a last minute change, so I'm filling in for Shelley. And then after me is Jersey, and I know Jersey is the Jersey Crafter, but she's changed her channel, her name to the Jersey Creative. So I'll have to make note of that change. So welcome, everybody. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to hop right into it. I am going to work on trims, and I'm going to work on this picture first, but I want to show you a little bit about what I'm doing here. Now, this is a piece that I'm going to put in my fabric caboodle that I'm working on from Rosemary, but I've crocheted around the edge here. And I'm going to show you how I did that, but now I know not everybody crochets, so I'm going to do some other things that for the people who don't crochet. But this was just a top off of a ribbon spool and a shank button. I think I got this button from Suzanne Hale. And yeah, this makes a nice fabric caboodle, kind of a memory. I was looking at this and I go, oh, it's a Christmas assortment ribbon. I'm sure it was gold at one time. So I'll be doing some other things. I wanted to show you in my, speaking of Christmas, this is my 2016 holiday art journal, December daily, whatever you want to call it. And for those of you who do not crochet, there are a lot of other things you can do. And I'm just going to show you one thing. If you happen across in garage sailing, this is, or shopping, thrift shopping, I got this needlework piece of this bride. Now I've made an angel out of her, but I just put her, because she was not finished, look for unfinished needlework pieces, because you can put those in your art journal and make a wonderful, wonderful piece. And it looks like it was made for this book. So this is a way that you can incorporate fabric into your art journals. See, I have some trim down here. I fringed this was done on Aida cloth. But also I wanted to show you another page here where I did crochet red trim around the page and also around this little needlework ornament. I didn't stuff the ornament because it would have made the book way too puffy. But this was a little square needlework ornament. And at that time, these buttons with the little angel in front of it, or the little girl, the Victorian girl, were very popular. I don't know if I got that at Michael's or exactly where I got it, but they were plentiful back in 2016 when I was doing this journal. So, and then, of course, here I just, with my fine line applicator, I mimicked lace. And there's fabric in the background, by the way. There's a fabric page in the background. I put Stitching Together a Tradition. So I think that's about the only, well, no. See, look, there's a pair of gloves in here. I guess they could be considered fabric, a snowflake. I guess I used more fabric in here than I thought. What else do I have? If you guys want to see, here's me and my grandniece right here before I let my hair turn gray. Kind of got the reflection of the window off of the picture there, but this is when she still let me hug her. She's too old for hugging now. I think those are about the only fabric pieces that I have in here. But I wanted to show you those two especially. So, yeah, this is my holiday art journal from, what, 5 years ago already. 5 years ago. So, but there are other things that you can do too, and I'm going to show you a couple of alternate ways, but I thought for part one, I'm calling this part one, I'm filling in for Shelley. I just thought I'd show you how I did this. And I was working, on my last stream, I was working on this glue book. And I was working on this page, and I had this picture out here. This is, the page is going to say, March to the Beat of Your Own Heart. And I want to do this picture. Let me fold this back up. This will go in the glue book, but I want to use this technique. And so all I've done is I've taken my crocodile here, and you want a fairly small punch, or just use a needle would work too, but just punch holes. And you know what? It really doesn't matter if you goof like that, because I'm gonna tell you, your crochet is gonna, your work is gonna cover it up. This is, I'm not too particular that I get things exactly perfect, because I'm not exactly perfect. But just punch holes along the edge. Now this is for the people who crochet, and I'll be doing another technique later tonight for the people who don't crochet, because there's a lot of different ways that you can use fabric and fiber in your art journals, and we've already got some really good ideas from Janet. Oh, I went off here, but that's kind of okay. Try to get as even as you can. I'm trying to kind of hurry here. I think I'll only go that far. And I think I'll be okay there. Now I'm using black thread, black crochet thread, and where's my hook? I had it out here looking. Oh no! Where's my crochet hook? Did I put it back in the... Oh no, it's got to be here. I had it out looking at it to see what number it was. What did I do with it? Oh, come on, Mary. Well, it's not going to work if I can't find my crochet hook. Oh, maybe it fell on the floor. I felt something fall on the floor. Wow. What fell? Yep, it fell on the floor. And I was looking at the size here. You want your crochet hook to be fairly small, and this says 2/2 whatever that means. But you don't want a big, for a thread crochet, you don't want a large hook. And for those of you who crochet, know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to start right here and hope, I don't think that's going to hold. So let's attempt to fix this a little. Hopefully this will hold. And you know, when you crochet like this, when you do a border like this, you really want your stitches to be more even. But I noticed when I started this, I started it with, I was doing needlework with my St. Louis stitcher friends, and I did this part first, and I can really tell because I was sitting in here at my desk. And then about here, I went in, was sitting at the recliner, and I can really see how much tighter this is. But as you can see here, my little hole punches are more even. I had a line to guide me. But if they're not even, it really, you know, in our art journals, it really doesn't matter too much. And you can do the beginning stitches one of two ways. You can do a blanket stitch here, which is what I might do, or you can do a crochet, single crochets around. And I think I might just do the blanket stitch. And so maybe I need to zoom in a little so you guys can see. Well, no, if I did the blanket stitch, I'd have to have the needle. Let's get out a needle. Which will work better anyway because I'll need my hook to crochet around. Let me zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing, and maybe put a white piece of paper underneath. Let me get a piece of white paper out here. Oh, Mary's always so prepared. And I'm going to take a good length of thread here. And you know what? I think I'm going to double it. I like to double my thread, so I want a really good length. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I might make about 3 times that length. Yeah, Mary's one for using long threads. Now, you don't have to, especially if you're not used to doing this. If long threads make you uncomfortable, I'm okay with them. But I have a fairly long thread. And of course, when you use long threads, you want to clear your desk off, which I don't have. Let me get more in frame here. And I had to laugh at Janet. She pre-threaded her needles. I'm going, oh, Mary doesn't pre-thread her needles. Maybe I need to pre-thread some needles here. Now you can see I threaded my open ends through the eye of the needle, and I have a loop end. I love my loop ends because they make a blind knot. So I come back down through here, pull it through, and I'm only going to do a few stitches here. I'm not going to do the whole piece because I want you to see what the technique that I'm using. So I just go through that loop end, pull it all the way through, pull it through, pull it through, pull it through. And I'll show you this after it's all finished. Okay, now I'm just going to do some blanket stitches here. And I might get in trouble with the second stitch because let me get my thread out here. I might have to mend that second stitch a little. If I don't pull it too tight, I think I'll be okay. And usually I'm not too particular unless I'm making this for somebody or, you know, really want it to be nice. But there's a blanket stitch right there. And you just continue course, I got my desk full of stuff here, so just continue doing. I'll do one side here. Just continue with your blanket stitches. And if you don't know what a blanket stitch is, there's all sorts of good stitch guidelines, but basically you have a row of stitches or open weaves, and you knot it at this side. You come down through your stitch hole. You've already got the first loop, the first stitch made, and then you just kind of come back through that loop, and it forms a stitch that they call a blanket stitch. And you just pull it through this way. Now see those unevenness of those holes really don't make a big difference in here, because your stitches kind of make up for them. Whoops, I only went through one. If I can go through that second one or not. You see where I'm at on here? I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I got so many things out on my desk, my thread's catching on to them. I don't want to spend all morning doing this. I want to show you how to make the lace, how I make the lace. But you could just leave it like this if you, for those of you who do slow stitching, probably know what a blanket stitch is. I mean, it's not a difficult stitch. And it's pretty enough just like that, isn't it? But I'm going to do the lace around there. My hand is kind of shaky this morning. I apologize for that. I cut all sorts of trims and stuff out. So fabric and fibers can be used a zillion different ways in our journals. We're in love with them. Oh, I went completely off the line here. Let me punch a couple holes in here. It's part of that is because I'm online and I'm not seeing, I don't have good lighting in here. But all these extra holes will get hidden. They'll get hidden. They don't concern me too much. Just keep going this way. I just got a few more here. Yeah. If I can come through, if I can find it here. Yeah, I got a knot. Just a little one. Is it gonna cause me a problem? I don't think so. It's always a lot harder to keep your thread straight when you're online. And I get out of view here. Get out of frame. All right, I think I'm going to stop on this so you guys can see the lace. And I'll come back to it later. All right, I'm going to take and unthread my needle so my needle doesn't get in the way of my crochet hook. But you will want to finish this blanket stitch all the way around your piece. See, like I did that blanket stitch all the way around. And then you take your crochet hook and you start crocheting. Now, I would normally start here and work this way, but I'm going to work on the back and work that way. So I'm just going to take this thread and let it drop off to the side here. And make you a little loop. People do this different ways, a little slip knot on your hook. However you are used to doing a slip knot. On your hook. Now you can either do a row of single crochets and come back and do a double crochet. I think I'll just do single crochets here. And single crochet, you just wrap around your hook once. Like that. And you might want to put a chain on there, but and then you just pull it through. Or I think different people do that differently. Wrap around this way and pull it through. I think that's more of a half double though. Half. Let's just wrap around once. Put it through your loop. Pull it through. You have 2 threads on your loop and pull it through. Wrap around once. Put it through. And it's always hard for me to crochet online because I feel like I'm reaching way across my desk. Wrap around once. Put it through the loop. Pull it through. And pull your thread through both loops. And then when you get 3 or 4 stitches on there, I do a Pecos stitch, which you just chain 3. Just pull it through 1, 2, and here again, it's hard for me to do this online because I'm trying to keep it in your view. And so usually I have this right up to my face where I can see what I'm doing. And 3. And then to make the Pecos stitch, you have those 3 chains, and then you go back through the base and do a slip knot. Of course, I pulled it off of my needle. And get this extra thread out of the way. It's always hard for me when I'm doing stuff like this online because I don't have good control. Then you just do your single crochets. About 3 or 4 to end up. And mine are always a little bit uneven here. I got it all off here. Let me take this out. Pull that through. My brother's getting the morning paper. My first one is always the hardest once I get going. And I usually have to take this extra thread and put a bobby pin on it to pin it down. Let me get this hooked here. There we go. Loop around once. Put it through the loop. Pull it through. I wouldn't say this is the best demonstration. Mostly because I can't get comfortable working under the camera when I'm crocheting or stitching, because I feel like my work is 3 miles away from me. What did I do? But anyway, as I'm working alone, I do much better. And pull it through. And I just kind of go at it. And you know, as much trouble as I seem to have sometimes, in the end, I like it in the end. Now let's see if then I go, when you go to the next stitch, you just do a slip stitch, which means you just basically draw your thread through the next. Of course, I got this other one in my way. Got that hanging thread in my way. It's always easier when you're doing this by yourself because you're not trying to show the world what you're doing. And that's probably more of a single crochet than a slip stitch. And then, but you just continue on here. And then do three more picots. I mean, 3 more chains for the picot. Pull it back on itself. Slip stitch it to the base. Go in and do 3 more. Don't know if that one went like I wanted it to. Yeah. So those of you who know how to crochet know what I'm doing. For those of you who don't know how to crochet, this really is not a crochet lesson. I'm just showing you how I do it. I want to do some more trims where I don't crochet the trim. Let's take a look at what I have here. Oh, my brother's sneezing. He's got to do his morning sneeze while I'm online. So I don't like how that first one went. Boy, is that sloppy or what? Let's pull it out. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I think the first one's okay. I did the second one. I hooked it wrong. Let's just take the second one out. And I'll show you the first one. I'll show you the first one close up. Okay, all these threads. Here's what the first one looks like. So I basically have 3 or 4, depending on the width of my stitch, single crochets, and then I do a Pecos stitch, and then I do 3 or 4 more. And I'll just continue that all the way down. So that's how I did this. That's how I did this. And I really like how this one turned out. So let me look at chat. I'll work on this while I'm watching the other streams. And I'll show you my finished piece. There's no way that I can finish this in a half an hour. Not gonna happen. Not gonna. And I'll probably take this stitch out again so that, and then finish punching all my holes around there and do this blanket stitch all the way around, and then come in and crochet all the way around. Hi, Nettie. Hi, Jane. My grandmother taught me to crochet, bless her heart. Thread crochet is a little bit more difficult for me to handle than yarn crochet. And especially as I get older, and if I haven't crocheted in quite a while, I find that I have to get my hands used to handling the smaller threads. Yarn crochet, you have a bit more to grab onto, but I love thread crochet. Janet said, Roy, I can't wait to have a go. Let's see, what did Roy say? Bootsy said, thrift store was a bunch of blank cards with beautiful pictures and sentiments on the front. I did a crochet edge like this on the front, and it makes a beautiful look. It really does. It really does. It makes it really, and I think on these pictures, once I get these pictures done, you could do this. Now I did this in black so you guys could see the contrast with the old photo, but you could do this in a sepia color too. I could see mounting this on a piece like this and doing maybe like a light tan around here and make it very vintagely. You could also do it in a cream color. And of course, get your holes a little bit more even around there, because I'm online. I feel like I'm reaching 3 feet away when I do this stuff. And so my stitches are a little uneven here, but I did okay over here. I got these holes really even over here. So just things to consider. And as you work on it, you'll get a feel for it. Jersey says, I understand, Mary. Art lends itself best to off-stream. It really does. That streaming is a challenge. Streaming is a challenge to demonstrate all of this, and really, I don't know if my camera were an infother or something. I'm not sure how I'd be more comfortable doing this, because when I do this, I traditionally have to get this right up almost to my face to do a good job of this. The first stitch isn't bad. I pulled out the second stitch, and I'm going to pull the first one out too, and then continue with my blanket stitch and get that all done. Let's see. It is 7:09. I think it's time for me to sign off here. The next person is Jersey. Jersey comes on in 1 minute. So the Jersey Creative, let me put her link in. Let me put her link in there. Hop on over to Jersey. I'll be there as soon as I can turn off my... There you go. Did it go in there? There you go. Hop on over to Jersey and let's see what she does. Bye, everybody. Enjoy the hop.